Illusions of Paradise, Gauguin's Journey to Tahiti. In 1891, Paul Gauguin embarked on his first journey to Tahiti, driven by a longing to find an Edenic paradise where he could create pure, primitive art. He sought to escape the faux primitivism being churned out by painters in France. However, upon his arrival, Gauguin's romantic vision was shattered. Tahiti had been colonized in the 18th century, and devastating diseases brought by Europeans had wiped out at least 2/3 of the indigenous population. The primitive culture he yearned for had been largely eradicated. Undeterred by the reality he encountered, Gauguin immersed himself in his art, producing numerous paintings of native women. These women were depicted nude, in traditional Tahitian attire, and Western-style dresses, as seen in his work When Will You Marry? The composition of this painting is layered with areas of green, yellow, and blue, with the traditionally dressed young woman positioned between the foreground and middle ground. Art historian Richard Field suggested that the white tiare flower behind her left ear indicated she was seeking a husband. Behind a young woman, another figure dressed in a high-necked Western-style dress sits erectly. Field believed her gesture was influenced by Buddhist art, while Naomi E. Moorer later identified it as a mudra, denoting a threat or warning. The front woman stretches herself, her facial features stylized and simplified. Field noted a Japanese influence in her pose, whereas Charles F. Stuckey saw echoes of Delacroix's Women of Algiers. The rear figure stands out with her distinct pink dress, flush against the yellow-blue backdrop. Her face, detailed with individual features, forms the focal point of the image. At the bottom right, the inscription Nafia Faa Poipo, When Will You Marry? Appears. Gauguin often inscribed his paintings in Tahitian during this period, fascinated by the language despite never mastering it. Art historian Nancy Mawell Matthews noted that Gauguin portrayed the Tahitian natives as living solely to sing and make love. This depiction helped him secure funding from his friends and captivate the public's interest in his exotic adventure. Yet, Gauguin was acutely aware of the truth: Tahiti was an unremarkable island with an international, westernized community. When Gauguin returned to France, his paintings of Tahitians, including When Will You Marry?, were met with relative indifference. His 1893 Durand Ruel exhibition garnered some favorable reviews but yielded few sales. Gauguin had placed the painting on consignment at the exhibition for 1,500 francs, the highest price he assigned, matched by only one other painting, but there were no takers. It wasn't until 1917 that Stichelin, a Swiss merchant, purchased the painting at the Maison Muse Gallery in Geneva. A pencil sketch of the painting's central figure was later uncovered and authenticated in a 2017 episode of Fake or Fortune. Gauguin had painted it during his first trip to Tahiti, where he would eventually live for 6 years. In 2015, the Stichelin family, through the Rudolf Stichelin Family Trust, sold When Will You Marry? For a record-breaking $300 million, making it the most expensive painting ever sold at that time. The buyer was reportedly from Qatar. However, a high court lawsuit over an alleged outstanding $10 million sale commission revealed that the buyer had paid only $210 million.